Joining us today, we've got Ted Seifert with Zaner Ag Hedge. Ted, as we talk about what's going on in this corn market, obviously we're quickly approaching that kind of kickoff for spring planting, if the weather holds, of course. What do we know about this market as we get started?
Well, we know a lot more about this market than we did about 2 weeks ago, Clinton, and that is in the form of acreage. And wow, what a dramatic difference between what the trade expectations were and what we are actually dealing with from a prospective plantings number. It's a lot less acreage in corn, and that means that it really revamps the new crop balance sheet. The only thing that we have to go off right now is the USDA's or the Ag Outlook Forum's baseline numbers that we saw back in February when they gave us a 1.9, almost a 2 billion bushel carryover. But you plug these new acreage numbers in, that brings us down to about a 1.5 billion bushel carryover. We lost a 500 million bushels of corn due to acreage and lower beginning stocks. Now, on top of that, we're seeing big sales to China, 2 million metric tons in the last 5 days or so, or last 2 weeks. And so that demand really starts to get cooking. So it's a much different outlook for next year's corn than what we had been thinking a couple of weeks ago. Not only have we gone from a sort of blah to maybe even slightly negative story in corn, now we're at a bullish story to potentially really bullish. Because keep in mind, the USDA is using their trendline yield, which is 181 national average yield. We've not seen that before. That would be a new record by a fair amount. And you look at the drought monitor, you look at the cost of high inputs, you say, it's going to be fairly difficult to get to that number under really ideal circumstances, if that is even the case. So it really puts us in a position where we may have to really start limiting corn demand towards the end of the year if we're trying to bring in as many bushels into next year and have that cushion for any sort of weather that we might have during this growing season, which we are already starting to be concerned about. And when we talk about acreage maybe shifting back to corn, yes, the corn and bean ratio is very positive towards corn, really asking for those acres. However, with high input costs, that's going to be a drag. And the biggest thing is always weather. If we ever see a big shift, it's usually weather driven. And right now, the weather is actually suggesting that we might actually see more corn, or might actually see more soybean acres. So that is also adding more fuel to the fire in the corn market.
Yeah, it's just so many things happening all at once. Ted, always appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We'll be back with more Ag Day coming up in just a minute.
For professional marketing advice specifically tailored to your needs, call Zaner Ag Hedge at 312-277-0113.